Hi, how is everyone doing? You guys doing okay? It's crazy out there, okay? It's crazy. So let me just let a few people pop in here. Um, just want to share with you that I've got like two different screens going here. Um, Homeschooling's hard. It's really hard. So if you're trying to adapt to a new work and life schedule, good luck. I'm here with you. We're struggling too. We've had tears. Teachers deserve to make $1 million a year. So it's really hard to run a business and a household and be a teacher, during a pandemic. So yeah, tensions are high. So how are you? You guys doing okay? Scary right now. But the reason I wanted to come on here is that during uncertain times, and a lot has changed since just last week. Uh, a lot has changed, right? I'm in Ohio. So if you're in a state where like nothing really is shut down, I know some of your school districts haven't shut down. Um, I know a lot of bars and restaurants around the country are still open. I'm in Ohio and we're shutting everything down. Our state, and I'm going to commend our governor. It may be a controversial thing to agree with, but I'm sorry. No, I'm not sorry. I think he's doing a good job. But a lot of people are being affected. So we've got a lot of people in the restaurant industry that are currently laid off. Um, they've extended unemployment benefits, so there's no wait for those. So get in and apply at Job and Family Services if you are in the service industry and that you've recently had your income affected by these changes. But what I want to tell you today, because some of you just lost your job and you're like, okay, great, I'll get unemployment, but what about my bills? I want to teach you a method for prioritizing your spending during really lean or uncertain times. Some of you already know how to do this and you practice it every day, and some of you are new to the money game and you're learning. So I want to teach you a way to prioritize your spending, because some of us are going to have lean times. My business just kind of shut down today. Amazon is no longer allowing third-party sellers to send in anything non-essential. So we have some water filters that we sell. I can send those in, and we have some groceries that we sell. Everything else, for the next 3 weeks, Amazon sellers can't send in inventory. So expect some shortages in non-essential categories. I know if you've been on Amazon already, you probably noticed a lot of things are sold out. Prime Pantry is pretty well picked over, similar to your grocery stores. So I would expect to see that ripple effect in toys, in books, in anything that's non-essential. Retailers as well as third-party sellers aren't sending that in. So my business just took a huge hit. So I'm here with you. It's scary. So what can we do? First of all, we can be scared and we can feel that, and it's okay. I just want you to know that if you're feeling scared, that's okay. But we need to take a look at our spending now because we know that things are changing and you're going to be impacted. So whether you call it the 4 walls, the 4 legs, your foundation, it's going to be how you prioritize your money and your spending in lean and uncertain times. So where you don't know when the next check is coming in. There also is talk of the government sending out stimulus checks. They're working on that currently. We don't have an update. I know I've heard the $1,000 per adult figure get floated around. In today's press conference, it sounded like they were aiming higher than that. They also want to get this money out in the next 2 weeks. So we could see some sort of relief in the form of money just directly coming to us as citizens. And I, for one, do hope they do that. I know that seems extreme, especially if you're in a state where things are operating kind of normal. What's coming for those of you that live in those states, as someone I'm expecting full quarantine in the next week. So I'm just being real with you. Okay. I'm just being real. I'm not trying to spread fear, but there's a lot of fear out there and we got to deal with it. Okay. The four walls, the four legs, your foundation. This is what it looks like. The number one thing that you need to pay is for your shelter. You got to have a roof over your head. We know this. We know that this is important. It's why we care about the homeless. Having shelter is important. So your rent and mortgage, that's top priority. You want to keep a roof over your head. The next thing that you can pay for is your health. And I'm not talking about going to the gym, and I'm not talking about yoga classes, and I'm not talking about supplements. Groceries, meds, essential personal care. That's the next thing. Like that's part of your four walls, your four legs that hold up your table, the four walls that protect your house, the foundation where everything can stay kind of stable. Shelter, health in the form of food, meds, essential personal care. Dyeing your hair is an essential. Maybe you feel like it is, but I'm talking about soap, shampoo, stuff like that. Essential utilities, electric, your gas, your water. You probably want to still pay for trash because you want trash being taken out. For many of us, internet and phone is essential. It's how we make our money. So essential utilities. And the last is transportation. So you need to make your auto payments and you need to put gas in your car because you need to drive to work. So that's it. Those are the four. Those are the four things. When we enter into a crisis phase, those are the four things we focus on. Shelter, health in the form of groceries, meds, essential personal care, utilities, and transportation. Those are the things that are going to keep some stability. Beyond that, you are going to pay minimums on anything else, credit cards, student loans, minimums. And if the money runs out, the money runs out. Now, if you see ahead of time, and I have got a video on my Facebook page about how to like a way to predict your cash flow. If you know you're going to miss payments on your credit cards or your student loans, I want you to call those creditors ahead of time. I don't want you to just not pay it and say, well, I can't pay it. We're going to be adults about this. Children will bury their heads in the sand and be like, I'm just not gonna deal with it. I need you to call your creditors and say, hey, here's what's going on. I've lost my job. I don't know when I can go back to the bar or the restaurant or wherever it is. And I'm not going to pay you this month. And because they're going to type notes on your account. So many creditors right now are waiving late fees. They're not going to disconnect services. So call them and tell them you're not going to make a payment once you realize you're not going to be able to make that payment. Don't wait until later. Don't wait 3 months down the road to try and clean this up when everyone else is going to try and clean it up. Be proactive, okay? Now is not the time to pay a lot on your debt. Maybe your income is secure. I'm talking to the people who really are uncertain about what's going to happen in the next, we'll say, 8 to 12 weeks. And for those of you in states that think that sounds crazy, we're talking 8 to 12 weeks, okay? Now's time to pause your snowball and start anything extra, put it into savings. So pay your minimums on your credit card and put that extra into savings in case you need it for something more essential. Oh, someone says my weave is gonna look real bad, but I'm gonna be okay. I know I've got like these purple extensions and I have a hair appointment next week to get them like moved up. And I think I'm just gonna like figure out how to take them out because I think they're gonna close all non-essential businesses in Ohio. Like I really do. It's good to have some humor in this. Like some of us are gonna look a little rougher. That's okay. We have to find laughter, right? We have to find laughter. We've got to find joy in this crisis because it's stressful, guys. So now is the time to pause your snowball, your debt snowball, your debt avalanche, put the money into savings. Hey, those of you that are sitting at home like us, where we started homeschooling and everything's chaotic, this is what we're going to do later today. Now's the time to take a look at all of those subscriptions. And if you don't have a list of them, I do encourage you to make a list. But if you don't have a list, go back through your old bank statements and credit card statements and make a list of everything that comes out. What do you need to cancel? You know you've been meaning to cancel a few of them. Let's just go ahead and do it. Even if you're not worried about your income, let's just go ahead and cancel anything that we've been like, you know what? I haven't watched Hulu in 7 months. I can always get it again. And P.S. You can always sign up again. It's not hard. You just sign up again. They'll take your money. So cancel anything that you've been thinking about canceling. And if you're currently laid off, now's the time to cancel anything non-essential. So it's time to protect the 4 walls. You've got to really bolster the 4 legs, the foundation of your finances, whatever you want to call it: shelter, health, utilities, transportation. You've got to get to work. You've got to make money if you still can. You've got to keep the lights on. You've got to keep the heat on. You got to keep the water flowing, keep the trash going out. You're going to need food and meds and essential things for your health and personal care. You probably don't need that gym subscription, especially if you're in the state of Ohio, because all the gyms are closed. And most importantly, you got to keep that roof over your head. So, if Chase doesn't get paid for 2 months, Chase doesn't get paid. If Discover doesn't get a payment, if Fannie Mae doesn't get a payment, they'll be okay. But I want you to call ahead of time and let them know if you can't make your payment. We're not going to pretend that this isn't happening. We're going to be adults and be proactive, because a lot of creditors, a lot of lenders are waiving late fees. So call ahead. It's better to know than to stress out and worry about stories you're telling yourself. Pause the debt snowball, pause the debt avalanche. If that's what's going on in your life, if you're laid off, now is not the time. If you think if you are in the service industry and you're in a state where things haven't been shut down, it's coming, okay? It's coming. So I want you to think ahead. Cancel anything that you've been thinking about canceling, and also make that list so you know what's coming out and when. Just go onto my Facebook page. If you're watching this on Instagram, it's at I am Brittany. So go in there. I've got a video about how to predict your cash flow and how to map it out on a calendar. So check that out. We're going to get through this, guys. We're going to get through this. But there's going to be some suffering and there's going to be some sacrifice from all of us. So hang in there. If anyone wants to chat, I'm around. I would love to chat. I would love to know what's going on, what's happening in your world. We'll get through this, okay? I promise we're going to get through this. We will. And if you have any kind of financial questions in the meantime, or if you're like, hey, Brittany, I have a lot of time on my hands and here's what I'd really love to learn about, because then I can create something for you and I can put it on the page and then you'll learn about it. Hang in there, guys. I love you. Take care. And I'm going to go eat some lunch and drink some coffee. See what else is shaking with my family. Bye. Thanks for hanging out with me. Take care. Love you.